All right. So with these shows, with these future music shows, there's usually a pretty wide variety of artists participating. Usually within the hip hop medium, but there's a lot of different sort of subgenres and different styles within that. So do you want to maybe introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what it is you do as an artist?
For sure. My name's Isxxc Jxmes, and I kind of dabble in a little bit of everything, mainly like rap and trap stuff, but I come from many different musical backgrounds.
Cool. And how long have you been doing this? How long have you actually been performing and recording?
Performing like rap music and all that just over a year now. It's been a journey so far. It's been pretty
Okay.
cool.
Where do you fit yourself in? I mean, rap music is such an umbrella genre at this point, and I know you mentioned trap earlier, but how do you sort of place yourself on the spectrum of what rap music is? Because there's so many different styles and subgenres that are all sort of part of this larger thing.
Oh man. Yeah, I think honestly I'm kind of going for like my own kind of sound and rap. Like I'm trying to mix genres together and just make like my own thing, kind of like make people remember me by
Okay, well, and
kind
that's
of
maybe
thing.
that's maybe brings up a good question. Is we're in an era now where I mean, everyone has the ability, which is awesome, to record their own music, to put it out online, to make it available, sort of at the click of a button. And so, as an up and coming artist, how do you, whether you figured this out or not, I guess, how do you sort of make yourself heard above the noise? How do you get your music sort of attention? What is your plan to do that? I guess among all these other people who are making music and fighting for that same attention.
Ooh, so like in my current situation, I come from a small town, so like small towns are like really showing lots of love in this kind of thing. Like there's not a lot of people that do this kind of thing from small towns. So just
Sure.
like I feel like people seeing that kind of just like they hop on board real quick. And like my first show, so like completely sold out, just like because of all the people from my town, and I was like couldn't be more thankful for that.
What town are you from?
I'm from Stonewall.
Oh, cool. Okay, okay. So, being from Stonewall, I mean, maybe this is another good thing to talk about here. One of the things that I personally like, I mean, about hip hop has always been when people sort of reflect very honestly where they're from, who they are, what their actual background is, rather than trying to,
100%.
put on an air of being from New York or LA or whatever. Being from a small town, do you think that comes through in your music? Do you think that that vibe of being from Stonewall is sort of whether it's subconsciously or not in what you do?
For sure. Yeah, I totally try and make it known where like I'm not necessarily from Stonewall. I'm a military kid, so I've like
Okay.
moved I've lived all over, but I feel like Stonewall is where I found myself as a human and as an artist. So I like to call this place home.
Do you think that that small town experience, and maybe even that sort of moving to different places around the country experience, does that come through in your music to listeners? Do you think people can pick up on sort of that upbringing you've had and that background of yours?
In my upcoming album, I do talk about a little bit of that. Yeah.
Okay. What is the well, maybe that's a good segue into the album. What do you have coming up as far as recordings and releases?
I do plan to drop a single just after the Future Music Show. I will be performing it at the Future Music Show, but
Cool.
I'm working on this super big album. It's called Forgotten City. It's got a bunch of local Winnipeg guys on it, and I'm kind of the whole message behind that album is kind of how there's no big platform in Winnipeg, and this city's kind of slept on because of like there's so much talent in this city, but like you hear all like the big record labels are in Toronto and LA, right? Like there's nothing in Winnipeg, so I'm just trying to put that album on the map and send a message.
Do you think that there is a I mean, because Winnipeg, just like hip hop in general, has had so many eras of rap music and different styles over the decades and different subgenres. Do you think there's a Winnipeg sound? Like, do you feel like there's something that to you as a listener sort of feels Winnipeggy, feels Manitoban as far as hip hop?
Honestly, you couldn't really tell. Like I listened, like honestly, like most of the music I listen to is a lot of like my homies from Winnipeg, and it's just like it's just songs that I play like almost every day. Like Max Wins, like I listen to that man like almost every day. Like it's like not even because like I'm his friend too, but
Right.
like I'm a fan of his music. You know what I mean? Like it's say with my bros Fiji and Sleepy Zay, Vital, all them. I always always just bump their music, and it just like you make it known like oh man, what am I even trying to say here? Yeah, it's just definitely trying to get a platform for the city because there people deserve it out here.
Well, and with this future music show coming up, I mean, what does that mean? Having that opportunity mean to you as an upcoming artist? Like, do you think this is going to open up potentially a new audience to what you do? Because of all these other artists bringing their audiences in as well.
It could, yeah. I honestly saw in this like more collaboration opportunities because like looking at the lineup we got for March 28th is very diverse. Like everyone on this bill makes different kinds of music.
Yeah,
And it's just super cool like seeing everyone do their thing. And it's like a lot of these this is going to be a hard show to judge because almost everyone on this bill is super talented. So I
yeah.
yeah, I'm very excited for this one.
Have you done a lot of shows at this point? I mean, I know you mentioned
Um
performing in all of your hometown, people coming in to check it out, but have you been playing a lot?
I have done I think 4 shows in the past year, and then I got this future music show coming up. Then I'm opening up for D12 and Obi Trice at the Bulldog on April 8th.
Cool.
And then on April 10th, I'm opening up for Shaggy 2 Dope of Insane Clown Posse at the Exchange Event Center.
Those are fairly big shows. I mean, how did you get hooked up with those on those bills?
Those were just word of mouth, honestly. There's a Bulldog kind of put in a good word for me for the promoters for the D12 show, and then I opened up for Violent J last year. So then the
Okay.
promoters for the EEC were like, "Do you want to do Shaggy Two Dope as well?" It's like, might as well. Got to do the whole thing.
So you have the Juggalo audience locked down, I guess.
Oh yeah, totally, dude. It was they got I wasn't expecting that to be like my first big opening spot. And it was super surprising to me. And I kind of just yeah, the juggalos sure know how to get down. It was a good time opening up for Violent J and very excited to do it for Shaggy as well.
Yeah. Well, for people who haven't heard you before, or maybe want to hear more about what you're doing, obviously the Future Music Show is a good way to check you out. But other than that, where can people find your music online and find out what you're up to as far as upcoming shows and things like that?
You can find me on all streaming services, Isxxc Jxmes. It's spelled ISXXC space JXMES. And all my social media handles should be Isxxc Jxmes FR.
Okay. And then it's at this point, like as we're recording this, how much music do you have available online? Like, where can people check that out? You said the streaming services. Do you have? Is it just singles, or do you have any longer projects at this moment?
Mainly just singles. I got one album out, but I highly suggest nobody listens to it because of how ass it is. But I got quite a few singles out right now. I was kind of just promoting a few singles before the new album comes out because I promise the new album is way better.
Well,
And
that's actually kind of funny that you say that about the previous album because, like you said at the beginning, you haven't been doing this for all that long, so you must feel like you've improved considerably, sort of in the time between
oh,
that first release and now.
100%. Yeah, it's been just like people tell me all the time. They're just like, "How did you go from this to this so quick? How does that happen?" Like my most recent single is almost at 10,000 streams. I dropped that one with my bro Young Hums and Trippy the Kid. And that single's been really doing well. People seem to like that one. So
Awesome. So one of the things that I've been talking to people about who are participating in this event, in this monthly series of events, is it's all up and coming artists, up and coming local artists, and it's sort of under the hip hop umbrella, but there's definitely a lot of subgenres and different styles and different angles that people are taking on that style of music. So I think the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what it is that you do as an artist.
Okay, so my name is Laurel Chante. I am a 18-year-old singer. I've been singing since I was 7 years old. I do genres like R&B, pop, Afro music, and I try and kind of blend them all together sometimes to create my own unique, style and sound. Um, yeah.
Cool, cool. And so I mean, as a singer, you're participating in this event that is more heavily sort of geared towards rappers. But I mean, there like I said, there's other genres that get involved in that as well. Um, what does it mean for you to be taking part in something like this? Knowing that you're maybe an outsider in the sense that you're singing, whereas most of the other people on the bill are gonna be rapping.
Honestly, like I feel like it's new for me to be competing against like a bunch of like rappers. And I mean like I know some of them sing as well,
Yeah.
but it's just like I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also like excited because I feel like it's gonna push me to bring forward my best game, like my A game. And that's what I want to do for the competition.
For sure. And like you said off the top, you're 18, you're still very young. What has your experience been as far as doing shows locally? Have you had a lot of opportunities to perform live?
I haven't had like a lot of opportunities, but slowly I'm starting to gain more opportunities where people are reaching out to me to either like be a part of a project of theirs or to be a part of something like this, which is like a competition or a show. Yeah, so it's slowly happening, but my goal this year is to try and push myself more out there and release songs, release more of videos of myself, just push out more content out there.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe a good question then is, knowing that we're in an era now where everyone can record music fairly easily. They can get it online fairly easily. There's a low barrier to entry, which is great. It means more people are making music, more people are sharing music. But what is your sort of plan as far as making yourself heard above all of the noise of everyone else? Like, what is it about what you do that you think will sort of elevate you, so you will grab people's attention and they will want to listen to what you're doing?
I think what's unique about me is like my sound, the way I approach different sounds and my hooks too. I think that I create really good hooks that get people going, like radio material type stuff where, people will be singing it over and over. And honestly, I think that I am really good at entertaining, like I can dance, I can sing, and yeah, just I bring a unique energy, I think.
Well, that's especially good in something like this, where it's a contest, right? Where people are trying
Yeah.
to sort of make themselves noticed above everyone else. So that's a good set of skills to have for sure. Um, have you figured out sort of where you fit in within the local music scene? Because I mean, there's so many people making music in Winnipeg and Manitoba, which is great, and but there's so many little sort of scenes and sub scenes and cliques and little groups of people playing at different venues or playing appearing on each other's projects and things like that. Have you sort of found your people within the local music scene yet?
Honestly, not really. There are times where I did think I found my people, but I feel like I'm just kind of meant to be like a solo artist. Obviously, I love connecting with artists, and hopefully for this show, I will, make a lot of new friendships and new connections. But right now, I'm just kind of, riding on the solo wave.
Right on.
Yeah.
What is your songwriting process like? I mean, as a singer, it's going to be different than a lot of the other people in this event as well. But do you write on an instrument? Do you write vocals alone? What is your sort of routine like as far as writing songs?
So for the songs that I write that I usually record in the studio, I usually find a beat that I like, and then like usually I'll think of a melody, and
Yeah.
then I'll start. Recently, I have started like writing before thinking of a melody, just because I struggle with writer's block sometimes, and I'm trying to like exercise myself to try different approaches to songwriting. But yeah, usually I'll find a beat. I do write songs on my piano, but those songs I don't necessarily like go to the studio and perfect them.
Is that like is it just stylistically different, or what is the reason for that? Like, what's different about the ones that you write on the piano? I guess.
Well, I honestly would like to like, compose my own song from scratch,
Yeah.
like my own, but I just need to find someone that would be able to capture that the way that I want it to be captured. And yeah, but honestly, for now, like I'm good with like, finding R&B beats, Afro beats that resonate with me and making songs to that.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
And so, if people are hearing about you for the first time on this podcast, like with a lot of the people, it's all up and coming artists. So you might be new to a lot of listeners. What is the best way to hear your music at this point? I mean, obviously you're working on new stuff, I'm sure all the time. But at the time we're recording this, where should someone go if they want to hear your music, other than the
Uh,
show?
Well, you can go on Spotify, Apple Music, all the platforms there. It's there. This year I plan to release more. You might notice that I only have 2 songs. That is temporary. I promise there will be more. But yeah, you can find me on any streaming platform, I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah.
Are you focusing on singles only, or is there like an album or an EP or something in the works?
I have a project that I want to start later on this year or like approaching next year. But right now I'm trying to work on just putting singles out so I can build an audience and a strong audience. Then once I build a strong audience, I can put a project out there and know that there's going to be a group of people that will definitely listen to it.
Awesome. And then I guess last question I have for you is where can people find out about what you're up to as far as, someone could hear this the day it comes out, or they could hear it a year from now after the competition's already over and maybe they want to check out more of your stuff. What's the best way to find out about upcoming shows or upcoming releases and things like that online?
So I'd say my Instagram is like the number one like platform where you can find like all the things that I'm doing.
Cool.
It's at Laurel.Chante. And yeah, there you can find my covers, my music announcements, my show announcements, everything.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an event that's showcasing a lot of up and coming artists in Winnipeg and Manitoba. And one of the cool things about it is that you're getting artists from all different kinds of musical backgrounds, doing all different styles and all different sounds. And so I think the best way to start this off would be for you to introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what you do as an artist.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm really thank you. I really thank you for this opportunity and reaching out to me. My name is Krish. That's my artistic name. That's the name that I go with. But the Krish is coming out from J Krishnan Balakrishnan. That's my real name.
Okay.
So I decided to go with my Krish because I wanted it to be sounding like an artistic name. Till I wanted it to carry the root that I am from. So that's the main reason I go with the name Krish. It actually means J means victory and Krishna. It's a Lord Krishna's name. So that's about my name. And I am an international, I came to Canada as an international student. I'm from India.
Okay.
So I have been doing music for the past 6 to 7 platforms. The album is called The Storytelling. There are 10 songs in the album, and every song is actually uh, speaks about moments that happened in a person's life. So everything has been arranged like the pearls in a necklace. Likewise, so it's like that necklace. My song. Every song speaks about a moment of that person's life. Yeah.
I like that analogy about the pearls in the necklace. As someone who's new to Winnipeg, relatively new to Winnipeg, what is your impression of the local
Yeah.
music scene here? What have you sort of learned about music here in Winnipeg?
First of all, when I decided to come to Canada post-COVID. Post-COVID, everything just stood upside down, and that's when I decided that I need to move out to the place. But everyone used to ask me, why Winnipeg? Why are you going to Winnipeg? This question I have faced from a lot of people, but I can proudly tell them that this is Winnipeg, and I'm so happy to be here. This neighborhood is so great, especially the music scene. The people are so. If you really want to see, you being a Winnipeg, I believe that you are a Winnipegger, so you
Yeah.
can definitely understand that if somebody who's not a Winnipegger, what I would recommend them is just go to the cafes, go to the pubs, just go there and visit the music scene, how the people are interacting to each other. People are so nice there. Of course, I agree that there are certain things which is not so good, which is not favorable to hear about Winnipeg, but still, however, everything's there. I agree to that. But still, the music scene, the people are really good. If you go visit these places and just interact with them, have a smile, they're so nice. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And this is a thing which I really believe about Winnipeg. If you really, really want something, and if you ask to Winnipeg, Winnipeg will give that to you. I trust in Winnipeg for sure, 100%. I'm so happy to be here.
I like that attitude. That's great to hear. For people who
Thank you so
aren't
much.
familiar with your music, how would you describe the sound of what you do? How would you sort of define the style of music that you make?
Well, I'll tell it. So my music is a mixture of two languages, my mother tongue and English. Mother tongue is Malayalam.
Okay.
It's a South Indian language. There are 100 plus languages in India, and this is one of the languages. This is one of the oldest languages in the world. This Malayalam language, it's almost 2,000 years old.
Oh,
So all of my songs are a mixture of English and Malayalam. So I call it like a Manglish. What I'm saying. Yeah, so that's how I do. Yep, that's all about me. About the music.
sure, sure. So with this event that's happening, I mean, this is an opportunity for a lot of up and coming artists like yourself to sort of showcase what they do and hopefully, reach new audiences and get new fans. What do you think people should expect from you at this upcoming event?
Samson, I'm so sorry. I think I lost you. Can you
Yeah,
repeat? I'm sorry.
you cut out for a minute. It's all good. With this event being a showcase of up and coming artists, what should people expect from your performance at this event? Did we lose you again?
Sure, that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah, no.
Okay,
Do you get me now?
go for it. Yep.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, have some network issues. Well, so the people who come to the upcoming show, this is what I'm going to tell them. What I will be providing them is I will give them an experience of my culture. It's an opportunity for them to experience how the art form from another country looks like.
Cool.
So I coming from India, where the hip hop music is not really where the hip hop music was born. So it's of course obviously it was not born in India.
Yeah.
But India, like I said, India has more than 30 plus culture, 100 plus languages, so it's more diverse. So people who would come to the show on 28th, this is what they can expect from me, that they can experience my culture, they can experience my music, and I can also entertain them by through my hip hop music of a blend of a Malayalam and English. So it'll be it's an experience for them.
Yeah.
Can I just hum 2 lines just
Go
for
for it.
them?
Yeah,
Just
go
give
for
them.
it. Sure.
Appreciate that. So I'm going to hum, or I'm going to sing 4 lines of my mother tongue. The song is actually in Manglish, but the chorus of the song, the hook, is in Malayalam. So this is how it sounds like. If you want to hear more of this, come to the show. So this is how it goes. കഥകൾ പറയാം പറയാം ഞാനിനി കഥകൾ പറയാം നാം ഇനിയൊന്നായി ചേരാൻ കഥകൾ ഇനിയും പറയാം നാഴികത്തോളം ചൊല്ലാൻ ഞാനിരുവീണം മൂളാം ലോകത്തെങ്ങാനേലും നമ്മക്കൊത്തുചേരാം.
Very cool. Very cool. If someone wants to hear more about what you're doing, I mean, maybe they hear this after the show's already happened and things like that. What's the best way to find your music online or find out about what you're up to as far as maybe future shows and things like that?
Well, my music and my debut album, everything is available online, like in YouTube and social media or Instagram, TikTok, or all the audio platform. You just need to search J Krish Official, JKRISH Official. That's my handle everywhere. Just in case if you don't find me, just search with my album Storytelling J Krish. You would definitely find me.
Awesome.
That's how you can reach out. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks. All right. So one of the things about the show that's coming up at the end of the month is that there's always, for the past 2 years, they've been doing this competition. There's always been a pretty wide range of artists as far as what type of styles they're playing, what type of background they come from, and it's kind of an international thing. Like there's definitely people from all over the world who are participating in this, who have moved to Winnipeg, who have moved to Manitoba, and there's locals who have been here their whole lives, and it's just this really kind of mixed bag of participants. So I think the best way to start this off is if the two of you want to introduce yourselves and give a bit of background about what it is you do, and then we can sort of frame it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Skye, you want to go first?
No, you go first. I was gonna say rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I'll go first. It's funny you say a lot of people come together for these events, because I was one that went to these events and met a lot of people and networked and shoulder rubbed and met the right people, and I started off as a fan. And what I do is I drum, I do music pretty much. I play guitar, I drum, I dabble in singing, I write. Yeah. And as far as how me and Skye connected, he hit me up on Instagram one day, wanted me to play his songs, and it was just like that. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Well, then I guess, Skye, what is your musical background here?
So for starters, I have a better name, Skye, but Skye is my artist name, and my real name is Kingsley. I moved here from Nigeria roughly 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
So something happened, and I found music, and music saved me pretty much.
Cool.
So, in respect to the style of music I make, I make pop music, not necessarily pop music. I make beat music, but that's just pretty vague. So, most of my songs are I have a really huge love for the 80s. So, I use 80s style beats a lot with a little bit of a contemporary style beats, like I just mix what's happening now with 80s.
Okay.
So something pretty similar to The Weeknd. So I would say my style of music is it's music that pays respect to time. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What is the draw to the 80s stuff? Because I mean, I'm assuming you guys look a little younger than me. I mean, I remember the 80s as a kid, but I mean, a lot of people nowadays I think are be attracted to that kind of vibe, even though they weren't around sort of the first time around. So what is the appeal of that to you?
What is the appeal for it?
Yeah, like why
It's The
80s stuff?
Weeknd.
Okay.
It's The Weeknd that got me into it because initially I was just making R&B type of music. I was making just R&B. And The Weeknd, after he released Blinding Lights,
Yeah.
Blinding Lights is a perfect example for a modern song that gives you nostalgic, experiences.
Sure.
The beat alone, like the drum set, the synthesizers or whatever. I think that's what they call it, the synth.
Yeah, yeah.
The synth alone just makes you feel like you're in the 80s. And the way he sang brings you back here. So ever since then, I started dabbling in 80s music. And I realized that music back then was so, what's the word?
I'd say it's more simple
Original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Original
simple.
and simple.
It was more raw,
Yeah.
energetic. It was, I think it's the synths and just the energy that attracts me to it.
Yeah.
What does the sort of interplay between the two of you look like? I mean, most people performing this thing are just sort of an individual, a lot of the time just doing vocals, right? What does it look like with the two of you working together?
Well, I'm the singer. Well, he does a lot for me. He's not just like a fellow artist. Like he helps me in a lot of things. He helped me write. He helped me set up shows. And he's mainly my drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he drumming to his songs live with a guitarist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not just live though. Whenever I need it for whenever I'm recording too.
Well, that kind of gives it a bit of a different vibe too, right? Having that live element when a lot of people, especially at this, will be using backing tracks, right? So you have that. That is definitely I don't want to say an advantage, but it's definitely going to stand out as something different, as something unique. At this kind of event.
I just want to get. I like giving experiences in my performances. I want you to come here and like I want you to listen to the song and like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You come to the show, you get a whole different vibe, and hopefully it's good too.
Yeah.
I just don't want to stay boring because a lot of artists just lip sync.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, and I think that's almost more accepted now. It's interesting you're kind of throwing back to an earlier era when that was really not cool to be doing that, right? And now it seems like it's okay again. People are quite comfortable.
No, I'm not hating on it. Like I'm just.
Well, I am a little bit.
One of the thing is when you get too comfortable singing like that, lip syncing, you might be put in a position where you have to sing live. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That might ruin the experience or a fan.
And people are not dumb. They know, right?
Yeah.
You can't fool them.
Not anymore. No.
Yeah.
So this is an event where it's kind of highlighting and promoting up and coming local artists. There's a whole bunch of different styles and different people participating in this. What does this opportunity mean to you guys to have a chance to do this? Do you think it's going to sort of open you up to a new audience that maybe hasn't heard what you do before?
Yeah.
Talking over each other. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Skye.
God damn, wait, I'm in a position. I'm okay. I'm just kidding. Could you rephrase the question?
Yes, yeah, sure. I mean, like, what does it mean to you to have this chance to perform at this thing? Do you think it's going to is the goal of this to sort of, I mean, obviously you want to win it, but is the goal also to sort of introduce your sound to a new group of people, a potential new audience, and sort of expand your horizons that way? Or are you using it as an opportunity to network, or what's the goal for you in this competition?
As you said, an opportunity to network, for starters. There's always an opportunity to meet new people, to get new connections. So that's a really huge factor for me whenever I perform. And this show means a lot to me. Shout out to Ezo, shout out to Ezoman. It means a lot to me and the guys because we went through this. I went through this phase where I couldn't understand the look of a microphone, and that's been going on for almost a year now. So this is probably our first show back.
Okay.
We had people questioning what's going on. And we also had people who were like, "Take your time." So it's an opportunity to connect back with fans to show that we're still here, because the break was necessary. Mentally, like everything, it was necessary. So having an opportunity to perform to a diverse crowd like this, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Anything.
Right on. For people who are unfamiliar with what you do, what's the best way to find your music at this point? I mean, the good thing about this is someone could hear it the day it comes out, or they could hear it a year from now and maybe want to look back and find your stuff after maybe they've seen you at the show or whatever. Where can someone find your stuff online?
Where can people find my music online?
Yeah.
On every platform, I believe. Every main platform. We have our songs on YouTube. We have our songs on Spotify, Apple Music. I don't really dabble with SoundCloud because I don't really see any point of it.
But you're on most of the ones that people will use to get music in. Cool.
Absolutely.
Everything.
And then as far as future shows and things like that, what's the best way to sort of follow you, social media or elsewhere to find out what's going on in the near future?
Mostly Instagram. I wouldn't want someone to call my Twitter because that's a different person there. That is not
Okay.
I'm kidding. But mostly Instagram, and I want to I want to start using TikTok because I see how it's a really good platform for upcoming artists. So you're gonna see mostly on Instagram and TikTok from now.
Cool. Is that the same for both of you, or?
Yeah, I promote usually on Instagram, Facebook. I might dive into TikTok world. You got to nowadays for all the youngins. And yeah, this is going to be a fun experience because, like I said, I grew up a fan of this competition, and to be able to perform in it is going to be just a blessed opportunity. And I'm a fan of these people that are in the competition. Like, they're my friends too. So
yeah,
they're amazing people. They're amazing artists. It's gonna be a fun time.
Awesome. All right, so at this event, it's coming up on the 28th. One of the cool things about last year and the year before, every time they've done this, has been that there's a pretty good variety of artists of different backgrounds, different styles, usually related to the hip hop medium, the overarching genre of hip hop. But everyone's got sort of different ways they approach that and different sort of subgenres that they fit into. So I think the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself and just give some background about what it is that you do musically, and we can take it from there.
Well, I go by the name Ben Notes. I've been making music for a few years at this point. I make definitely a variety of music. I wouldn't say any of it really falls under hip hop. It's mostly an acoustic pop, some R&B influences in some of the stuff that I do as well. Yeah, that's me.
Well, that's maybe an interesting way to start then. I mean, the fact that you're not necessarily a hip hop artist, and this whole series is very heavily leaning towards hip hop. So how do you think that you sort of fit into the overall competition as someone who's maybe a bit of an outsider in terms of the style of music you make?
I think we're all artists, we're all performers. Like I love performing. I've headlined my own shows and I've had experience performing and definitely I definitely have like a lot more slower songs, but I do have more upbeat songs that I do like to perform to. I feel like I'll really fit in with any like I kind of blend with any type of music depending on what songs I choose out of my discography. Like I can choose different things for different settings. And I don't know, we're all artists at the same time, so I feel like it lines up fine. If I just go out and do my thing and it works.
Do you think that this is an opportunity to kind of get yourself heard by new ears, by listeners who maybe are into these other artists and they're coming to check it out, and then suddenly they hear what you're doing and potentially you can win them over?
Yeah, absolutely. I always welcome people with open arms. Like I really see the people that come up to my shows and all that. Like it's really just a community of people. I love it just feels like you're hanging out with a bunch of your friends. I always welcome new people to come listen and be a part of it. Send me a message on Instagram, come up to me at a show. Like I always love talking and meeting new people and having new people in the community. So 100%. If there's one person that wants to start listening to my music or coming to my shows because of this interview or because of the show on the 28th, then that's a win to me. It's another person joining the family.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I haven't played in bands in well over a decade now, or more. But it was like that when I was playing music too. It was very, very welcoming. Everyone seemed to sort of, encourage each other to do stuff. So it's always nice to see that younger artists are having the same experience in Winnipeg.
Absolutely. It's a community. We need to hold the community accountable too. Like the moment we stop going to each other's shows, the moment we stop buying people's merch. Like
Yeah.
I'm wearing an artist merch right now. Like we always got to support because without art, the world is nothing. And if you're an artist wanting that support, why not give it back to other artists?
Yeah, I think that's the right attitude to have for sure.
Mhm.
For sure. If people want to hear more of your stuff, what's the best way to do it? I mean, we're in an era now where there's not sort of one way to listen to music. People are streaming on various platforms, or they're downloading, or they're buying things physically, or they're going to Bandcamp. Like there's so many options. What's sort of your where would you drive someone if they wanted to check out your music? What would be your suggestion?
I mean, it really depends on their preference. If you're wanting, like, I have music videos that I try to be pretty consistent with a lot of the songs that I put out to have music videos with them. I'm of course on Spotify, Apple Music. Like, I have some stuff on SoundCloud as well. I'm on everything, but also just come to the shows. Like with the shows that you're getting unreleased, you're getting covers that you're doing a different way, you're getting
Yeah.
the old stuff that you've already heard, you can sing along to, and it's just I feel like the shows are just the best way to experience an artist and really listen to their music. But I mean, as far as the digital and everything, I mean Spotify, Apple Music, all platforms really.
Whichever one someone's using. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything big planned for the near future? I mean, obviously this show is a big deal for everyone involved because of the opportunity to move on, and then there's a prize and everything at the end of it. But
Yeah.
what else do you have coming up? Sort of going into the summer and things like that.
I'm really just this year I'm just trying to live a little bit more and trying to take the pressure off of music. Like I had my EP that I released in January and I put so much pressure on putting this project together and having the show and selling out the show and all these things and it just took away like the joy of actually just music, which is what I'm actually trying to do. So I don't know, I'm just trying to live a little bit. Like I have songs that I could put and make an album, but I'm really just trying to get my band like to record some of the songs that I've written with them and yeah, just like have fun with music. And then I don't know, maybe I drop an album or maybe it's just singles and or I don't know what it is, but I feel like more so just kind of living and let music coincide with that. That's my plan for the year.
Sure. And what should people expect from you who are going to the show who maybe haven't heard you before? What would you say as far as your, not just the songs but the live performance as well? What would you sort of tell people to expect at one of your performances?
Expect to be singing along, expect to be shining your lights, expect to be dancing. I'm gonna bring up some upbeat stuff. I'm gonna come with some groovy stuff. Really anything. Just expect to be entertained.
Cool.